Hello Year 8, this is the last part of your little introduction about why do we do religious studies. The first question we asked was why do we do religious studies? Second one was what do we learn from religion? And the final question we're going to ask today is what kind of people do we meet looking at religious studies? And one of the things I hope you understand is that when we look at religion, it's more than just big questions. It's the actual people who are important, who make up religion. And here you can see some of the various religious leaders across the world who make up some really important ideas about what makes religion tick. And as you remember, 80% of the world believe in a God. So these people are really important to them. And here's a picture of a man who's actually an atheist, and we're going to look at what that means today. We're going to come across this man quite a few times in your religious studies lessons over the next few years. His name is Richard Dawkins, and he's going to help us to actually think critically. Remember, one of the things we said was the most important reason we do religious studies is to think critically, to look at what's good about something and what's bad about something. Now, the three groups of people we're going to actually look at today are theists, atheists, and another group of people called agnostics, and we're going to look at what those three words actually mean. And theists. The key word theists is really important. Now, theists, as I say, make up the majority of the world, and they're people who actually believe in God. And the five major world religions are mostly made up of theists. Those five major world religions are Christians, Muslims, Judaism, Sikhs, and Hindus. The word Muslim and Islam are actually the people who follow the religion of Islam are called Muslims, and those people all follow a God and believe that their God is the God who created the world and who provides us with everything that we need. Now, they all have beliefs and particular holy books and particular places that are sacred to them, as well as most of them are believing in an afterlife, either a heaven or a hell. We're going to go into that in some detail this year and also in years to come about what those things actually mean. So those are what theists are, people who believe in God. And then the opposite of theists are people called atheists. Now, atheists are people who don't believe in God. And there's lots of different reasons why people don't believe in God, and we're going to look at those as well. But you can also, they don't really group themselves as such and don't have places or holy books, obviously, because they don't believe in something. They don't believe in a God. However, there are people called humanists who believe that we should still have those services, but they should actually still be led by humans. Now, the key thing about atheists is that they still believe that life is special, and as it is the only one that we're actually going to have. And as you recall, this man here, Richard Dawkins, we're going to be looking at over the next couple of years, is a very famous atheist. And the final group we're going to look at is a group of people called agnostics. And agnostics are people who are not sure whether God exists, or they don't really care whether God exists or not. It plays no relevance to their lives. And some agnostics might like to think that God is real, but feel they don't have enough evidence to support it in this world. And when they die, they'll decide whether God exists or not because they'll be able to see God or see heaven or see hell. However, some can't prove that God doesn't exist. And so people who are agnostic tend to sit on the fence, tend to not really care whether God exists or not, or actually say, there isn't enough evidence. And the key point to all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is what do you think? Which one of those people would you be? And do you think actually that you would be able to change your mind based on evidence that you get either in class, of course, or in your lives in general?